let's talk about functions. There are some built-in functions that we call aggregate functions in a Microsoft Access. Some of the functions could be count, sum, average, max, min, standard variation, var, first, and last. And these are how we write it. For example, if we want to find the count, how many students we will have, we will use the count. If we want to find the total number of credits, we just use sum. If we want to find the average of the credits, we just put A, B, G, and so on. So we are going to use the total in this example. So we want to find the number of customers by rep 15. We want to see how many customers are being represented by rep 15. So let's do this in the QBE in Microsoft Access. So in QBE, we put the customer number and we put the rep number. And then we want to put the count. We are going to click on this total here. And you will see that we have an option to group by. Average, sum, and all of these functions are appearing here. We want to use the count because we want to see how many customer are being represented by rep 15. So in here, the criteria would be rep 15. Want to see where rep is equals to 15. So we put the 15 by the criteria. So we want to see how many customers are being represented by rep 15. So we put our count here, we put our condition where here, and then we put the criteria of 15 here, and then we will hit run. And the count of customer will be 4. So 4 customers will be represented by rep 15. Now let's talk about grouping. Grouping is creating a group of records that share some common characteristics that they have together. To group the records in Access, we select group by operator in the total row for the field on which we are going to group it. So let's look at the example in Microsoft Access. In this example, we want to find the average balance for the by each group that is being represented by the rep. So we want to find the average balance by each group that is being represented by a rep. So we are going to click on the total, and then in here we are going to actually group by the rep, and then instead of using the balance, we want to find the average balance. So instead of that group by, we are going to change it to average. So we want to find the average balance by the rep group, and so that's why we are going to use the group by for the rep number, and then we are going to hit run. And as you can see, for the rep number 15, so it grouped it, the average balance would be 2,851. For the rep number that was represented by rep 30, the average balance is 1,152, and for the rep 45, the group that was represented by rep 45, the average balance is 1,568. Also in QBE, we can do sorting. Sorting is listing records in a query result in an ordered way. We have 2 types of sort, major sort as well as minor sort. Let's see first what is a sort key. Sort key is a field on which the records can be sorted on. For the major sort key, or sometimes we might call it the primary sort key, first sort field, we have to put that in there when sorting the records by more than one field. With the minor sort key, sometimes we call the secondary sort key. Second sort key is when sorting records by more than one field. So normally we do the sorting by the major key and then with the minor key. So either we will sort it by primary key sort and then the secondary key sort. So let's see how we do it in QBE by design. Let's say we want to sort by ascending sequence for the customer name. So we will see the sort here, and then we will choose the ascending here. So, and then we are going to click on run, And as you can see, our customer name are in ascending order. We can also go back again to our design view and then change this to descending order and then hit run. So now our customer name is in descending order. Sometimes we are sorting on multiple keys. Specifying more than one sort key in a query can also be happening. Major, or we call it the primary sort key, is the sort key that is on the left in the design grid. And then the minor sort key is the sort key that is the right side of the design grid. Let's look at an example that has two sort keys. So as we said, when we have multiple keys to sort on, we will actually use this method. So in here, because the rep number is to the left of the customer name, the rep number will be the major sort key. This is the rule. As previous slide we have discussed, the major sort key is on the left in the design grid. And so the rep number is a major sort key. So the first rep number here, we are not going to show the rep number twice, so we don't have to hit the show icon here. So the first rep number field will not appear in the query result if you don't check this show box. So the ascending sort order is specified for the rep number, and the customer name field is on the right of the right. So this is the minor sort key. So the major sort key is this rep number, is because it's in the left of the customer name. And so this rep number will be the major sort key. Now let's look at how to join tables. So you can actually select data from more than one table. So when we select data for more than one table, we can also create a join. Join the tables based on the matching field that is corresponding in the columns. The join line is the line that is being drawn by axis between matching fields in the two different tables. It indicates the tables that are related to each other. So let's look at an example. Right now we have one table, so we want to actually create a join. So I'm going to right click here and I'm going to go back to the show table, and I'm going to actually bring another table in, the rep table, and I'm going to hit add. So as you can see, the rep table is being created. The rep number, however, is common in both of these tables, as you can see. So it is creating a link between these two tables by the rep number. So the rep number in the rep table is the primary key, and but in here is not a primary key, it's a foreign key, which we will talk more about it. So we want our rep. Actually here you can see the rep number is from the customer table. We can change that from the rep table. Also, we want to bring maybe the first name. So I'm just going to drag and drop it. This is another way that you can bring fields to here. And you can see they are from the rep table automatically. So I dragged and dropped it in here, or I could have just gone there and then select the rep table and pick the field that I want. And then you can hit run, and it will bring you the result from both of these tables. You can also join multiple tables. Joining 3 or more tables is basically similar to joining 2 tables. So to join 3 or more tables, add the field list for all the tables in the join to the upper pane, which I'm going to show you in a second. And add the fields to appear in the query result to the design grid in the desired order that you want it to show. So right now we have 2 tables. If I want to add one more table, I right click and then I hit show table, and then I can bring maybe an orders table. So as you can see, I bring the orders table, automatically finds the common field and then automatically links it. So the customer number is both something that is common that you can find. So right now or you can actually show it like that. It's easier for you to see. So the orders is being linked to the customer, and the customer table is basically, the customer number is basically the same in this order as well as customer. So that's why the relationship is now created between these two tables. And then you can actually bring a field here. So maybe you want to actually show the order date from the orders table. You can bring it here and then hit run, and it will bring you the results. We can also use an update query. Update query is a query that changes data, makes a specific change to all the records satisfying that criteria in the query. To change a query to an update query, we click on Update button in the Query Type group on the Query Tool Design tab. And then when we use basically the Query by Design tool in Access. Update to row is added when an update query is actually created. It used to indicate how to update data selected by that query. So let's look at an example for that. So maybe a city of Fulton got a new postal code or a zip code. So basically we can actually update it rather than going to every single record and update it manually. We can actually put it here, run a query to update the zip code to the new zip code. Let's see how we can do it. So we put the criteria city of Fulton, and then we hit update, and then we get this update too, and then we put the zip code that we want to actually update it. So let's put the zip code of 90,000. Then we will hit run. So it will ask us, you are about to update 3 rows. So it's finding that city Fulton and it's updating to this new zip code that I just gave it. Do you want to do that? We can say yes. So how do we check the result? We will go back to that table because this was from the customer table. And we are going to look at the city Fulton, for example. You see that city of Fulton, the zip code got 90,000, which I changed. The city of Fulton got 90,000, which I changed. The city of Fulton got 90,000, which I changed it to. So it got updated here. Let's look at the delete query. The delete query is when we are permanently deleting all the records satisfying the criteria that we entered in that query. To change the query type to delete query, we click the delete button in the Query tab group on the Query Tool Design tab. And then the delete row is being added, which indicates that that query is going to be deleted. Let's look at the example. Okay, we are going to hit on the delete button here, and you can see the delete criteria is showing up. So the order line that we want to delete is we want to delete it where the criteria is 51610. And then we hit run. And it says you are about to delete 2 rows from a specific table. So there are 2 rows that has these criteria, and we say yes. So then we are going to look at our order line table, and you see the order number 5160 is disappeared from here. So we deleted those 2 rows from this table. So if you want to go back to our design view, we just go back to our right click, and then in our queries, and then we go back to the design view. So we can change to different criteria if we want to delete any other record in there.